Hi everyone, this is Menz here. I'm going to be playing the Tier 4 premium Japanese ship, the Yubari, which is a pre-order ship, so you can't get it until up to a year after the official release date. Now, Yubari, it kind of gets a bad rap. It's not exactly the best ship in the world by a long shot, but it does have a kind of specific role. It has a decent amount of range on its guns, however, it only has two main guns with or two main turrets with two guns apiece. So firepower wise, each shell it's okay, um, damage wise, but you're definitely going to be torn apart by things if you get too close to them. Since really you excel at kind of hitting things at long range and not getting too close to ships. Now, one problem the Yubari has is its citadel, as you see that front turret there, and then going back to the rear turret, it even extends past the rear turret because there's another citadel area behind that. It's really large, so you can take a massive amount of damage in this thing if you're not careful. Now, this replay here, it's not recorded live like most of my replays. Unfortunately, I wasn't recording commentary at the time, but I thought this was a pretty decent match that was warranting uploading of the Yubari. Now, torpedo-wise, your torpedoes, you don't have a very good firing arc on them. You really have to be broadside. They don't really traverse too much to the left or right, which is a bit of a problem because by showing your broadside, you're opening up your citadel even more. Since it's harder to hit the Yubari being a Japanese ship, it's really skinny, kind of sleek, but once you show that broadside at close range, you're going to get nailed for a lot of damage, and this ship gets one salvoed a lot. Now, like the strength of the Yubari, again, has pretty good guns at long range compared to other tier 3 and tier 4 ships it usually faces. Does struggle against tier 5s though, but it does have very good anti-aircraft defenses for a tier 4 cruiser, and it has the AA defensive fire ability. It only gets one charge of that unless you have a captain to bump that up to 2. So like in this case I only have the one because the captain I'm using does not have that ability. However, it does have really good AA for a tier 4 cruiser and can tear to shred a lot of tier 4 planes that it usually faces. Now, unfortunately, I'm going to be using my defensive fire. I kind of waste it in this match. This match isn't really about using the defensive fire, but as you see down the bottom, got two torpedo bomber squadrons coming up, and that CV is not really moving or doing anything at all. So I'm going to be trying to head down to him, and unfortunately I get it off a little bit late, but I like to think I'm going to get the defensive fire off in time on that second torpedo bomber squadron. That will make their torpedo run a little less accurate and spread out. So I think I ended up saving the guy. Whether or not that's true, who knows. But really in this match, I ended up shooting down 10 planes, which here I don't shoot down too much, but nonetheless, I try to help. I activated it, so this second squadron here, it looks like their torpedo run might be a little bit more off, but really, who really knows? Basically, he hit 4 total, 2 from each. Now, I ended up doing 47,121 damage this match. So far, I didn't get that much. Torpedo-wise, I ended up getting 1 torpedo hit in the match, doing a little bit over 11,000 damage, which is a lot of it. The torpedoes on the Yubari, although you only have 4, and it's really hard to kind of line up hits, I find that surprisingly I do end up doing quite a bit of damage because people don't really expect a Yubari, which they hear really bad ship, to end up doing any meaningful damage from them. And sometimes you can surprise people. The range on them, if I'm not mistaken, is 6 kilometers. They travel pretty quickly, and they do have a decent amount of damage per torpedo on them. But really, it's an opportunistic ship, where if your team's doing really bad, it's hard to pull out any kind of like carry or win, because really you're just kind of a long range support ship. You can outrange the tier 3 battleships. Tier 4 battleships, a little bit iffy at times, but basically sticking over 10 kilometers away from everything is your best bet in the Yubari, and not letting people shoot you in a sense. But as far as the ship being terrible, it's definitely gotten better ever since they ended up buffing it. Do I think it needs a little bit more? Yes. Since, as you see here, while its guns have the range, they're not exactly the most accurate in the world, since you are going to be fighting longer ranges. But really, I think it just needs a little bit of a buff on its torpedo firing arcs, basically firing left and right, since you really have to be sailing perpendicular to your, pretty sure it's perpendicular, but whatever, to your enemy to be able to fire them. It's not like other ships where you can fire them angled and get away with it. In any event though, this ship, you don't see too many of them, since a lot of people think it's pretty much one of the worst ships in the game, but that's reserved for the Sims. All in all though, this match, I pretty much filled the role of a Yubari correctly. I tried to do a little bit of AA defense. I kind of held off and played it safe in a way until later on here, where we do have a bit of an advantage now, so that's why I'm pushing up. But if you try to go gung-ho with this thing and use your torpedoes in the beginning and try to do too much early on, you're going to end up suffering the consequences, and most likely you're going to die. It's like, sometimes I get a little bit too aggressive in this ship, and I end up getting torn to shreds by a battleship in 1 to 2 salvos. Most likely 1, but really you just have to pick your fights in this. In any event though, like I said earlier, I did 47,000 damage, which this is almost half of it by now. I do a little bit more than half on this Myogi since he's AFK, and then there's also going to be a carrier I'm going to catch here in the upper left hand corner. But if you like this video, feel free to subscribe here on YouTube. I live stream twice a week for World of Tanks and World of Warships, and I also release regular videos like this. More of them than not are basically live videos that I record. I'm not live streaming, but usually I record every single match with commentary and really pick the most interesting ones to upload. In this case though, I wasn't really feeling up to doing commentary that day, which is why I'm re-recording over this. Now, you can also check me out on menzgaming.com/World of Warships. I have armor guides, game guides, and basically helping you pick out ships, which one would be the best line to go down for you. And then I also have the website wattguru.com that has weak spot guides and a whole host of guides for World of Tanks as well, if that interests you. Really here, I'm pretty sure I'm going to take 1 hit because I was kind of stupid dodging this carrier here. But all in all, I could afford to take 1 hit, especially since it hits me in a non-vital area here. But all in all, still, I should have been able to dodge that. I actually recently, like a couple matches after this, I believe, I had a freaking invisible torpedo where I shot down all the planes, but I guess the server didn't register it, and a torpedo did not show up as it being fired, and I ended up going for like 5 kilometers, turning left, and, or not 5, probably 2 or 3 kilometers, and then turning, and it nailed me. No warning, wasn't showing up on my replay or anything, so hopefully that little bug they're going to end up fixing. In any event though, if you did like this video, you can feel free to support me here on YouTube in the upper right hand corner at the end of pretty much all my videos, or on my main channel page. You can see a fan funding option to be able to fund me here on YouTube. That helps me run events and also provide more videos for you subscribers here. But in any event, this is one of my better matches in the Yubari. Not the best I've had, but really it's a good ship. You just, a little bit of it's luck, a little bit of it's working with this really small torpedo firing arc, and a little bit is also being cautious. So is really kind of a unique cruiser in that not it's a little bit underpowered, but it still gives you enough to work with to do a meaningful amount for your team and come out with good amount of damage, credits, and supporting your team. Now this guy is just auto dropping, which he's probably a brand new carrier player, and really it makes it easier to dodge. But in any event, I got a little over 1,000 base experience at 1,092. Decent amount of credits here. And second place in my team experience wise. I ended up doing 47,121 damage total and shooting down 10 planes as well. So anyway, thanks for watching this video. Feel free to subscribe here on YouTube and also check out my websites, and hope to see you again at some point. Thanks for watching.